It's been a minute since I filmed a YouTube video. A number of reasons for that. Really, I've had a lot of stuff going on the coaching side and the education side that have taken up a good portion of my time. And in my hierarchy list, education and my current clients generally come a little bit above content, things like that, and sometimes that just needs to take a back seat. So I also have alluded to on social media that I have pretty bad anxiety, and sometimes it does catch up with me, and I just need to take a step back for a period of time. So I appreciate you all being patient with me. I'm glad to be back, and I'll be getting more training videos and just general content going out for you guys. So if you have any idea of the videos you'd like to see, please just leave a comment on this video and I'll be sure to get to those for you. I imagine my requests for videos will be pretty low, so I will get to all of them. So feel free to leave those in the comments if you have something you'd really like to see a longer format video of, and I will make that for you. So today, this is the first day of my peak week training, so my zero RAR week. I am in a cut currently. So last time I did a video, I think I was massing, and I was probably starting out the mass phase, something like that. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I hit a peak body weight of 292, which is the heaviest body weight I have ever gotten. I'll put a photo of that or video of that up on the screen right now. And best body composition I've had at that body weight. I started a cut about 3 weeks ago, and I'm currently down about 30 pounds from that body weight. Now, a lot of you will say, oh, that's kind of crazy. That's a lot of weight to lose in a short period of time. Keep in mind that I was on growth hormone, and when I generally reduce that dosage down, a lot of body water comes off with it. And also, I was in a programmed 1,000 calorie deficit, but reducing the carbohydrates, reducing the water. My volumes are a little bit lower right now too, so a little bit less intramuscular glycogen, a little bit less swollen. I'm also off of PEDs, at least on high dosages, to allow myself some time to resensitize, give my body a break, kind of clean out, let my body reduce the stress that is being heated on my body. And for my second mesocycle, I will be putting the bar back in. So that might cause the body water to come back up and stuff like that. Regardless, I got really lean in that period of time. It's crazy because my body weight before the mass phase was about 265, and I'm about 263 right now. It just goes to show how quickly I can manipulate my body weight because I've been doing this for so long. I am really efficient at doing so. 1,000 calorie deficit, went up to 12,000 steps. That's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, but as far as like people may be concerned with muscle loss, my strength is at where it was, and it's getting progressively, and I'm getting much stronger week to week acutely, and that's a good indicator that I'm not losing muscle mass. The only thing I would be concerned with running multiple mesocycles in a cut with lower dosages, but I think muscle retention is a little bit easier than muscle building when it comes to the androgen input. Meaning that you just need generally less androgen input, less anabolic input when cutting than you do when massing. And that's been my experience. I've seen other coaches do that, such as John Jewett as well. And you got to keep in mind too, that the drugs aren't even cleared out of my system for at least a month after I've taken my last shot, right? Because the half-life needs to complete. The metabolites hang around for a while too. So, right now probably is the lowest that they're at of about 5-6 weeks without anything. And so, maybe I'll lose a slight bit of muscle in these couple of weeks, and that would generally be indicated by my performance going down. But I'll gain any of it back the next mesocycle when I have a higher androgen input, or the next time I do a muscle gain phase, which I plan on doing in between these cutting mesocycles. So the tentative plan is to do this first 3 mesocycles of cutting, 4 to 1 paradigm, so 4 weeks of accumulating volume, 1 week deload. Probably do a mass gain phase. Around that time, I will be hiring Joe Jeffrey to take care of my contest prep. I want to learn from him, see what he has to do. And really the goal this next prep is to get as lean as possible. I think I may still be able to squeeze into the heavyweight class. As far as super heavyweights, I'd probably have to still gain a pretty good deal of size, but we'll see how things go. And I'm going to take it by ear ultimately, I'm not set on any dates. Hopefully, I'd like to compete early spring. I could compete in December if things go well, and I could compete in the summer if I need more time. Just because at this point, my goal as far as competing is to become professional, and if I need more time in order to do that, then I will. I'd probably say that more so if I nail my conditioning in the heavyweight class, I probably do have some shot, obviously dependent on who shows up at the show. So we'll see. I would like to give a few runs at it next year instead of just one. I competed only one national show last time, so if I don't get it in my first show next year, maybe hit a few, requalify, hit maybe 2 to 3 national shows, and then see where I stand, and then reassess. But ultimately, I'm enjoying the process. I love bodybuilding, everything that comes along with it. I love massing. I love fat loss phases, and I just enjoy training. So today I'm going to take you through my zero RAR day, my first day of the week. It is a back session, and I think I only got about 4 exercises. So I'm going to take you through it, maybe give you some pointers as I go through that, some tips that I use in my training. So stay tuned. Okay, I lied. I have 5 exercises. So first one being calves. I guess I didn't really count that because it usually goes pretty quickly. So here I'm doing a body weight or standing calf raise. I was doing body weight, but because I've lost so much weight, I'm adding the weight with a plate. So let me just look at my sheet here. Trevor Fulbright currently programs my training, and we have 290 pounds. So I started this cut around like 278, 275. So right now I'm 263. I guess 290 programmed. I'm just gonna hold let's see, what did I do last week? 280. So I'm just gonna hold a 25-pound plate with like fluid in my clothes and stuff. I'm probably about 265. So with 25 pounds, I'll be about 290. So that'll be perfect. And then we're matching reps with more load. So I'm gonna take a 30-second break. So I usually do with calves. I usually just go back to back with limited rest, and doing a 2-count eccentric, 1-count bottom pause here. Also, really quickly, so I don't have a meal in the morning. I train fasted. I don't really recommend training fasted. So what I do is I go do my steps because I do have some lipolytics like growth hormone in place. I don't really worry about muscle loss with doing some steps before I train. I usually knock out about 4,000 or so with walking my dogs and doing steps in the morning. And then I have a shake, which is a whey casein blend. The reason why I do whey casein is that whey protein does not sustain muscle protein synthesis for long enough. I don't have my first meal until about 2 o'clock. So this will cover me with muscle protein synthesis throughout the whole entirety of that until I have my next meal. So I'm not having any dips in muscle protein synthesis. Also, I don't have carbohydrates. Sometimes I have some fruit. I do notice I get slightly better pumps when I do that. Maybe that's just placebo, but protein is insulinogenic. So it does stimulate insulin release. It does some of the excess carbohydrate can convert to glucose as well if needed. So this is more than enough. This is 50-gram shake, 50 grams of protein. So this is more than enough to stimulate enough insulin release to be catabolic and anabolic enough to prevent muscle wasting and stimulate muscle protein synthesis throughout my training session. So this is usually what I have. I usually do something similar in the off season, but with some carbohydrates. And if I have the carbohydrates or want them, I will have them as well. And so I just warmed up doing a bunch of steps. I'm not gonna really do an affirmation set. Usually should be just good going right into it. 21 on the first set. set my timer for 30 seconds. I don't generally advocate for timed rest periods, but for something like this, I do, and that is something consistent throughout the visit cycle. But really, you're following your 4-factor rest model. So usually by 30 seconds, I'm good to go. Meaning like the calves are ready to go. There's no real supporting muscles that are fatigued during this. Psychologically, it doesn't take a lot to go again. It usually doesn't catch me out of breath too much, so usually ready to go pretty quickly. Okay, ready to go again. 13 reps. I'll hold the plate in another hand. You'll be able to see it when I do the pull downs, but this is a dual pull down. So I actually hooked one of the cables into the other, because normally it's this attachment. And when this attachment is attached, it can't stretch fully at the top. So any modification I can make to a machine to get more stretch, I do. As I probably beat a dead horse on this channel and on my content, that stretch-mediated hypertrophy, the more stretch you can get on a muscle under load is going to cause more muscle growth, most likely at least. If anything, it feels good, so produces better pumps for me. So I had close grip pull down programmed here. I'm pretty sure now that I look back at it, I was supposed to do like this, close grip, not neutral, because usually Tark will specify. But this feels good anyway, so 150, so it's a 2.5 pound progression, and the match reps. I've been feeling stronger on this each week though, so usually I'll beat reps as well. Plus this is my last week, so I will go to here. So 15, 13. So being that I've had some time off with higher doses, it's very tempting psychologically to be flattered, to want to bump up the dose. I remember my long-term plan. I mean, I've seen a lot of people surpass or get really huge really fast. But a big part of what I do and the way I practice bodybuilding is, I think, for the long term. And I definitely could take shorter periods of time off, run higher dosages when they're not maybe warranted as much. Just blast my face off. But I am not, when I consider the long-term risk, I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. So taking my planned time off, and then I will get back on. And this is just a part of the game. This is a part of the way I play the game, because I'm thinking for the long term. As tempting as it is to eventually bump up the dose, I want to be doing this for a long time, and I practice what I preach. It's the same way I would tell a client to take some time off to make sure that they're healthy, give their body a break. You can't be on high androgens year round. It will burden you a lot quicker, and will deteriorate your health a lot quicker. So that temptation is in my mind, but I disregard it because I'm over my long-term plan. And I don't think for short term, I want to look fuller, I want to look more pumped. I got this thing coming up, big for it. It's not how you practice bodybuilding in a smart way. And a lot of these guys you see blow up in short periods of time, they're not around for super long. I've been bodybuilding for 13 years, and I've seen many people come and go. This little acclimation set. I'm finding that the acclimation sets, while I'm cutting right now, feel even better to have myself primed for the working set. So an acclimation set is your working weight or 5 to 10% above, or 1 to 2 reps. Kind of primes the nervous system to be able to lift the load. All right, so I don't have a reference reps from previous week because my performance far exceeded what was programmed for me. This is what I was talking about, where my strength is kind of just beating my performance by quite a bit. A good indicator that I'm just retaining tissue is that acute performance week to week is going up and going up quite a bit, as opposed to generally deeper in a cut, struggling to try to match performance, which happens very closely to enhanced. But so I'm basically just going to vary these sets, 0 RAR, as close to it as I perceive, and then that'll be what I do this week. If this were to happen midway through a mesocycle, I would just do my best estimation. Okay, this is the last set. Actually, my reps have declined by 1 rep each set. Sometimes I get a little bit frustrated when my reps do this and I have to re-gauge. Usually it's like within a normal distribution, meaning like I can beat by a rep or 5 pounds each week. But sometimes PEDs, depending on the phase I'm in, something will happen like this, and it's hard because it's nicer to be able to rely on your weekly progression instead of having to auto-regulate mid-set. It allows me to shut off a little bit more, but I just try to remember that I'm not perfect, and the plan is never going to be perfect because of all of the different things that can influence the progression. And I try just not to stress about it, because worrying and stress are needless. They will not provide better results. So I can only do my best. So I'm doing an incline dumbbell curl here. Let's see, eating reps. Usually with dumbbells, since the weight increment is so great, if I were to go to 30 pounds or 5 pounds per arm, not 5 pounds for both arms, 2.5 for each. So I'm beating reps, 1 rep. Once I keep my elbows up as I lower, I get tension at the bottom. Just as well.
Maybe 2 on, 2 off kind of, yeah, more or less, or more on, more off.
Okay. So I always recommend recording yourself and then watching back those recordings, even if you're not going to post to social media. People seem to have a problem with tripods and recording, and I think it's a big reflection of themselves a lot of the time. Their insecurity to do so, their idea or mentality that recording yourself is vain. It conflates with that hardcore bodybuilder mentality. You're not supposed to use your phone. You're not supposed to record yourself. Look, I'm going to rest between my sets anyway. I have a camera on and I have to talk to it in between. I have to set it up in between sets. It makes no difference in the quality of my workout. And I can still train just as hard. If you can't train hard because you were distracted for 2 seconds on your phone or by a camera, then you have other issues. All right, so I did 4 sets over on the incline curl. Now I'm doing a lying cuff lateral raise. I have these cuffs here from my home BDSM set. Just kidding, you can get them on Amazon for $10. You could use them for BDSM if you want to. So, well, $10 well spent. So with the cuff laterals, to get the cable out of the way, you take the carabiner and you put it on the cable. So this allows the carabiner is usually sitting like right here, and they'll hit when you come down. So this allows for them to be out of the way. The only issue is it's difficult to get them on. So a lot of people, I don't know, man. I notice when sometimes when people are minorly inconvenienced when they train, they'll just shut down and they won't do it. So I can understand how it's kind of difficult to set up, and some people might not want to do it, but I don't mind, and I've kind of gotten the system down here. So I have to grab the cable and hook it on. It's not the easiest, but it's not impossible. And I bring it down to the bottom, and I'm in. Imagine it'd be pretty hard to cuff yourself to a bed, too, so, you know. Sometimes that's what's necessary for pleasure or pain. Doing a warm-up set here. And I have the cable set up to about the height of where my wrists are. See, normally they'd hit like right here, like up here, but I can come down without them getting as much in the way. Okay. Getting them off is a little bit harder. So I'm gonna grab the carabiner again, grab from the bottom, and unclip. Imagine when your belts are burning, it's a little bit more impatient with it. But. Come on. Come on. Let's go. One more. Okay. Okay, so now we got a mile rep set. So I'm doing 14 again, but due to fatigue, I won't be able to do 14 straight. So I got 2 pauses. I usually just track the pauses. I don't track the amount of reps that I did each set. So as long as you're not doing more pauses to achieve the same number of reps, and you're beating reps or adding load, then you are improving performance. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to thank you for watching this workout, being patient with me with my time off of content. I know I've gotten a few of you reaching out, asking where the videos have been. So hopefully this will fill some of that void I should have the podcast back up the week of this as well, and that should be more consistent moving forward. Hopefully I'll get these out. I'm going to say 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, but the goal will be 1 week on my end. So if you have any ideas for videos you'd like to see me do, whether it's training or me just talking about nutrition or training, PEDs, stuff like that, just leave it in the comments on this video. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos, if you'd like to see more of the podcast. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.